Good morning, everyone. Good morning to you all. Can you hear me? Good morning. So, do you have any queries on the sales statistic and analysis? So, for the phase one, or else maybe any other topic, even the very important topic like row level security that we completed, static and dynamic row level security. Do you have any queries? And this code, which I have discussed, date table code, everyone received it, right? You know how to copy paste and try to get the date table, correct? You know it, or else you want me to showcase one more time. You got it? Responses, please. I know it's morning, but I'm expecting some responses. When we need to use direct query, which will be the best way? So as I said, most of the projects, right, we will use the import method only, even though the data is higher. I mean, data size of the tables are more. In which scenarios means maybe your application, the Power BI desktop application is not handled, like it is taking more time to load the table into the Power BI desktop. Okay, it will take some time. Okay, as per the connectivity, as per the data extraction, when you are trying to pull the table right to your application Power BI desktop, it will take some time. So if it is more time to load the table into the Power BI desktop, in such a scenario, we can make use of direct query method. Okay, direct query method. So you are not going to import the table into your application as a copy. You can directly communicate. Your application is going to communicate directly to your backend database. And I'm getting some questions like, can this direct query method will support Excels? No. Excel, these are all files or systems, right? How it will be get supported? 1 lakh record or else maybe 2 lakhs record we can accommodate in the Excel. That is more than, it is easy to load it into your application, Power BI desktop. But if it is more than that, okay, more than 1 GB of data, assume that I'm giving some number, 1 GB of data, you are trying to pull that into the Power BI desktop, it will impact the performance. Okay, in such scenario, instead of copying, okay, instead of importing the complete table into the Power BI desktop, we can use the direct query method. We are not going to copy it. Okay, copying activity will be avoided in such scenario if you are using direct query. Okay, best approach is my suggestion, because there are some limitations. There are some limitations if you're using a direct query method while working on the DAX part. And even if you want to do some data transformations in the query editor, there are some limitations which we cannot do in our Power BI desktop application. Correct? So my suggestion is we can go with the import method. If it is a huge size means, then you can do that activity, the backend activities, which I said, right? Power Query Editor level, or else maybe in the DAX part. If you want to bring some new calculation, we have to do it from the database only. We don't have any alternative. Okay. Now, is that clear to you, or else still any questions? Is that clear, Gaurav? So this part is clear, right? This date table, you want me to showcase how to create it, or else is that good? Are we good to go to the next topic? Next topic. We already loaded the table into your application. So see here, date underscore M3, which I have created by using query editor. So this one, query editor part, this one. We have used, right? We have derived some formula. See here, advanced query editor. I just copy pasted, okay, by using the blank query. See here, new source. How to do it means click on the new source, blank query, blank query. Try to copy and paste the code. Okay, this one. Just try to copy and paste it and supply the parameter. So we have to get the data from the starting date and the end date. And what is the financial start month? Some companies they will use the Jan to December is the financial year first onwards. Some companies they will use the financial year we can start from March, April something around. So we can have to provide the number financial year starting month. Once you invoke it, once you pass this parameter, your date table will be get generated as requested. So this is our date table. And remaining all, as I said, right, another date table methods. I just make use of an existing table, remove the unwanted columns. So order date, okay, this one, see here. I have removed remaining all columns here, order date only, order date I'm trying to maintain. After that, I can generate some new columns. Another approach is another one. Another approach is manually we can try to create it. We can pass the parameters which I have showcased to you. See here, this is the one. First, I have created the list.date. You can make use of it. Okay, maybe I got a question related to this. So list.dates function reference from 2013 onwards. So I'm expecting the data should be get started, the date table 2013 onwards. So that is my first parameter. This is my first parameter. Duration.dates. So I want to project date and time until the current date, today's date. So I'm trying to make use of date time dot fix local time. Local time now. So this is the function local fix local now, which it will try to project the current date 12/10/2023. So here I want to generate hours, hour, minute, seconds, and milliseconds. So that's why from this reference, so hash stands for reference, hash stands for reference, reference of this date. So we are expecting the duration information as well. So hours, minutes, seconds, and milliseconds. So that's why I just added. So this particular list, the output is get generated in the form of a list. I converted into a table. So you just observe this is the table information table. After that, I have derived some new columns. You know what are the new columns I have derived it. See here. Start of week, I have derived it manually. Okay, date of week, which is nothing but the name of the day, and so on. Okay. Any questions here, or else are we good to go? You have to tell me. Any date table, I can enable it. I can load it into my Power BI desktop. Any questions? That's what M2 method, why it is not working. You can just open this one. Okay, open it. I have shared the code, right? PBX file also I have shared with you. Just copy this one. This statement is required. This statement is required. I'll just try to post it here. Okay, no problem. I will paste it here. You can try this one. Remove this. And one more thing, 1 second. Last step, we have to use return statement here. That one also I have to copy. In, and this one is date underscore D. Okay. So just try to use this code. Let me know. Even yesterday I have shared the PBX file with you, right? You can open it and just check it. Okay. So this statement, right? Which it will be get generated the output in the form of a list. After the list conversion, I have converted to a table. So you can see the next step. Next step. After that, I have changed that data type, right? I have changed the data type from column one with the data type, dedicated data type, date data type. And I have renamed that column name, okay, column one to the date. These are the detailed information from this advanced query data. Whatever the steps that we performed, we can see it. After that, after renaming it as a date, I have added some new column like a start of week, okay, and renamed it, okay, the date data type to, and another column name of the day, that is day week I have generated and so on. So here the last step, see this, change data type 4. So in written statement, you have to see the last statement only. Okay, last statement is written statement. So why only this one means it will not accept any other. You have performed the last data transformation. You have generated year. So that is the written statement we have to provide it. In statement, in is the keyword. Last statement is change type 4. So it should be the written statement at the end. Okay, check it. Still, if you face some issue, I can directly provide you this code in the chat. Try this and let me know. Okay. It's not copy paste. You're not able to copy. Okay. I will send it right away to your mailbox. You just copy paste it. Okay. Everyone. Where is your mail IDs? Just copy paste it. Right. Clear? Any other queries do you have? Any other? So let me give a relationship between date underscore M2 model. Just let me check it. So don't miss it whenever you're trying to add some new table, just try to cross verify instead of directly navigating to the report view and try to do the visualizations. Our activities, right? Daily activity should be whenever you're trying to do some activity on the data level, cross verify your data from this data view or table view. Next activity is try to cross check your model also. Model is also very important, whether the new tables or else the new changes which you have done on the data level is that get implemented or not. So I just added something like a date underscore M2. There is no relationship. Suppose I want to bring some relationship with this to another, I mean, without any relationship, if I can start building some visualization, it's impact. So directly go to the model, try to cross verify. Okay. Manage relationship, new from sales order to this M2. Okay. Fine, no problem. One very important concept here. So I will just try to showcase to you. Very important. Please observe. Okay. As I said, if you're observing, there is a solid line between the table to the table. How many active relationship we can maintain? Can someone please respond to me? Between table to the table, how many active relationship we can maintain? Simple question. Only one. And is there any limitation for the inactive relationship? Is there any limitation for the inactive relationships? So assume that date to date. So if you're observing here, I have given the relationship between date underscore M2 to the order date, right? See this. So why don't I give to the expected delivery date? Expected delivery date also is a date format. Why don't I give it? I want to see some statistics related to expected delivery date to my date table. Why don't I give it? So if you can try to drag and drop or else maybe the previously the followed process, go to the manage relationship and try to build one more relationship. Means this relationship is going to be your inactive relationship. So see here, I hope you are able to see the lines, differences between these two. Active relationship, which is in the form of a solid line. And if you're observing, there is one more relationship, which is in the form of a dotted line. Dotted line. So this is my inactive relationship. So let's bring some analysis. This is very, very important on our real-time prospect. Please focus. See here, I'm just taking a simple table chart. Table chart. Okay, table chart. I'm trying to bring the fields from sales order table, order date. So you can see the continuous dates. Okay, there is no hierarchy now. We can see the continuous dates from 2013 to as per the data 2016. We can see the info. And I want to count it. Okay, count the number of orders. We already calculated the explicit measure. Try to use it. That is count. Or else let's try to create it quickly. Just try to drag and drop otherwise. No problem. Okay, count the orders. It's not counting. 1 second. Total number of orders. Measure. Order ID. Okay. So for each and every day, what are the total number of orders? We can see it here. Important concept. Please focus. Very simple. See this. Total number of orders for each and every day. Tuesday, January 1st, 2013, 79 orders. And the next day, January 2, 2013, 74 orders. Okay. And here, this is the order date, right? I want to see the when this orders has been delivered. Okay. I want to see the statistics, that is the total number of orders, when this has been delivered. Okay. If you are observing currently the order date and the total number of orders in this, table chart. I want to see the statistics, the numbers, when these orders has been delivered and which date it has been delivered. So how we are going to project? Simply see here. I'm just trying to copy paste. Instead of taking this order date, right? Suppose if you can try to select this date, delivery date, expected delivery date. Is this giving some insight? You have to tell me. As per this observation, you're able to see the numbers, right? Some numbers each and every day. January 1st, 2013, 79. Here the Wednesday, January 2, 2013, 79. These are the delivery date. Okay, delivered order date. You're observing. On January 2, again, one more new order. January 2nd, 2013, 74 orders. And this item has been delivered January 3, next day. I want to see the same statistics. Okay, same visual in the same visualization by using the date table. Okay, date table already created from the date field. I want to see the same numbers, that is the total number of orders, which day it has been ordered and which day has been delivered in one single visualization, not with two split, like one side is order date, another visual with expected delivery date, not with two different visualizations. I want to see the statistics in single visualization. You understood the concept or else still any clarity? I have projected two table charts, left hand side, order date wise, total number of orders you are observing, like January 1st, 79 orders. Another table chart if you're observing, when the item has been delivered, expected delivery date is provided January 2nd, that is the 79 orders only. So instead of showcasing two different charts, two different table charts, I want to visualize in a one single chart. So January 1st, how it looks like in the sense, January 1st, these are the orders, and second, it has been delivered. Okay, in one single chart. Understood or else any clarity required? You have to tell me in the chat box. No, 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 it's not like a line. So in the same table chart only, I want to see the analysis, item ordered, and when it has been delivered. So as of now, I'm showcasing two different charts, right? Two different table charts. Order date is one table chart and expected delivery date wise another table chart. I want to visualize in one single chart. How we are going to project it? You got the requirement or else any clarity? So my end user, assume that my end user, he want to see this analysis in one single chart only, not with two different charts. You don't want to select this one and this one. Like if I select this one, right, it is getting changed. January 10th, it has been ordered 79. And the same number, if you are observing January 11th, the next day, the item has been delivered. He's not expecting the insight with two different charts. He's expecting the insight in one single chart. How to do that? Not required. Clustered is not required. So here I have defined one more inactive relationship. See here, one is already an active relationship. Another one is inactive relationship. So this is currently not working, inactive. So to make it as an active relationship, to make this inactive as an active relationship, we have a DAX function name called user relationship function, which is very, very important. So this is already an active relationship. To get the insight data from the inactive data, which is from the expected delivery date to my total number of orders, there is a function to make it as an active. Currently, it is an inactive. Function name is user relationship function. So let me derive it. Let me showcase you clearly how it looks like, how we are going to add it. I'm selecting the new measure, selecting the new measure. Please focus, important. And data view, new measure. Giving the name as orders. Okay, total number of orders only. Expected delivery date wise. Okay. Date. Sorry. Is equal to. We know this. Calculate is the function. We know this function very, I mean, as I said, right, it's a queen of the DAX. Calculate. Expression. What is the expression? Can someone please tell me which metric we are currently working on? What is the metric? Is that a total number of orders or a sales order? What is the metric we are currently working on? Expression. The expression. Responses, please. Total number of orders only, right? Why confusion? Any confusion here? The metric we are currently looking over, total number of orders, comma. So as I said, the function name is user principal, sorry, user relationship. User principal is something like for row level security, user relationship function. So here we can try to pass the columns, that is the delivery date, which we have already given the relationship in the model part, the inactive relationship. Delivery date, that is the field from the sales order table, and the date table, date field. Try to provide it. So currently that is an inactive relationship. To get the stats of these inactive numbers, we are trying to derive a function. So in the filtration part, user relationship function is the one where we can try to pass the two of the columns as per the relationship, inactive relationship that we have defined. So here I'm trying to call the columns. See here, this is important. As I said, date table, date column. That is my first parameter. Second one is sales order, order date. Try to call this order date. Close the bracket, validate it. Simple. Navigating back. So I'm just trying to keep it aside. Duplicate it. Duplicate. Now you can try to call this. See here, this is important as I said. Instead of calling this as an expected delivery date, we have a dedicated date table, right? Try to call this dedicated date table now. Date table, date column, which is we are getting in the form of a hierarchy. And try to call that fields too. field that is just now we calculated, right? Expected delivery date. And instead of showcasing as a hierarchy, try to visualize with not a hierarchy. Let me do it. As of now, currently it is a hierarchical approach. Hierarchy, data hierarchy. Let's try to project it with no hierarchy. Let me change it. One second. Data. The layout has been completely changed, so that's why this confusion. One second. This is fine. This calculation, right? Expected delivery date orders. You can see both the numbers at a time. So both count of orders as well as the new. Let me add that field to order date, total orders. So is there any difference now? You are seeing any difference or else no change? Let me remove this hierarchy. Expected delivery date. Let me add date itself, order date. No need to project any hierarchy, but still coming as a hierarchy. One second. Order date. Just give me a minute because this layout, right, is just to get confused. One second. I want to see both the stats, that is the total number of orders as well as expected delivery date total numbers. So just now I have calculated. Once I try to project with a table chart with a date, we have to get it. Let me do that one more time. This is the old layout. This is what expected. So previously it was, see here, if I don't want an hierarchy, previously I'm getting this is the format. And in the old format, right, we have this functionality. If I'm not interested with the date hierarchy, like year to the quarter, quarter to the month, month to the date, it's missing. So that's why I just converted to the old format as it is a still preview feature, right? So that's why I just enable to see how it looks like. So I change it to my old format. See this date hierarchy means I can get this format, year separately, quarter, month, and day. And if you're not interested and want to showcase the continuous dates, We can just select it here. That's it. This is the continuous dates, just like order date. Okay. So the expectation. So what is the expectation then? So if you are observing this order date, total number of orders, January 1st, 79. So still something is missing here. 1 second. It has to come this one. Okay, 79, we have to get it from this. Give me a minute. Order date. Is this the relationship, inactive relationship is between order date or else expected delivery date? You have to tell me. Is that inactive relationship which you have given, is that between expected delivery date or something different? Order date. Which one? See here. That's why I'm not getting the output properly. See this. Inactive relationship is between expected delivery date to the date table. So, but here I forget. I just given the order date, which is already an active relationship. So convert to an expected delivery date, validate it. So common mistakes. Just try to drag and drop. Now you can see the difference. Increase the font. Let me increase the font, value font. So there is no change in the total number of orders. In the same chart, one single chart, item that has been ordered on the January 1st, total number of orders is 79. And you are observing the same number, 79 has been delivered on the next day, 2nd January. And the next day, if you're observing the January 2nd, we have 74 total number of orders. And when it has been delivered on the next day, 3rd January. Okay. Next Friday, 4th, 42 items has been total number of orders. And there is no delivery on the weekend. See here. You can see something like expected delivery date is blank. And the next day, Saturday, there is some total number of orders. It is just a summation. Okay, this is just a summation between these two orders, and the next expected delivery date is Monday, 92 orders, 42 plus 50. Total number of orders, 92. So you can see the same statistics, the same total number of orders, when and which date it has been ordered, and the item has been delivered. That information also we can try to project on the same chart, in the same single chart itself. Okay, so in this way, we can try to visualize an inactive relationship data. So inactive relationship data by using user relationship function. So we have to call that fields, inactive fields, that is a date table, date column. And I have called the order data, so that's why my visual is coming the same number. We have to build with another column that is expected delivery date. Okay, here we have created this measure, right, to get the total number of orders. Okay, to focus on the total number of orders when the item has been ordered and which date, and that item which date it has been delivered. So we can see the same stats here. So it's an addition of it, 42 plus 50, and the item has been delivered, total number of items has been delivered on the Monday, January 7th. Okay, like that the analysis will be. Now, is that clear or else still any clarity required? So like that, right? You can try to build some inactive relationships also. Maybe example, stock wise, stock date wise, I want to see when the stock item has been received from from the warehouse or else to the warehouse. So this type of an analysis, we can try to get it. Okay, already if there is any active relationship, if you want to see the statistics for the stock item has been reached to the warehouse, we can try to build an inactive relationship, and to get those numbers, we can make use of user relationship function. Understood? Or else any questions? Only one active only, right? That's what is projecting here, measure, the modeling part. And to get this inactive numbers, I have used which function? Here I'm showcasing the function also. User relationship. To make it as an active And to get the relationship, to bring the values from this date to the expected delivery date, I'm using this user relationship function. Now you got it. Is that clear to everyone or else any clarity? So instead of projecting as a two separate individual charts, to get the same numbers, to get the numbers, right? When the item has been delivered and which date the item has been ordered, we can try to make use of this relationship, user relationship wise. We can bring the inactive as an active and we can see the statistics. Clear? Important. Is that clear to you? Responses, please. Others respond. So this hierarchy, right? In older version, the preview feature part, it is not there. Maybe I can try to convert to the data hierarchy. Hierarchical wise, I can try to visualize it. See this. If you can try to enable the latest on object interaction, this is missing. Okay. We don't have an option to convert date hierarchy to the date. So that is available in the previous version. So these are all the like fixes. Okay, maybe in coming forward, coming months, we can get it added on the new on object interaction too. So currently it is this feature is missing. So we have to add it in the community so that they can add it. Okay, as per the ideas and suggestions from this community, Microsoft community. Okay. Any questions? This is important topic. In most of the cases, we can try to make use of it. Inactive to the active by using this function, user relationship function. Don't confuse between user relationship function and user principal name. User principal name is for row level security, RLS. Okay, a dynamic row level security. We are going to implement user principal name and user relationship wise. If there is any inactive relationship, to bring the stats of those particular column, we can make use of user relationship function, passing the inactive parameters only. This is also important. You have to pass the columns, which is an inactive relationship column. Okay, date to the expected delivery date, not the order date. Okay, it's not an order date, it's an expected delivery date. So between two tables, currently in the modeling level, it is inactive relationship. This is an active. To bring the stats of this number inactive, I have used, what is the function? You can tell me. If there is one more, maybe the stock field is also available, stock date, stock item date. I can bring one more inactive relationship. Is that clear? And to get that stock reach time, okay, stock reach date, then I can create one more user relationship function. Got it? So one active relationship. To bring the analysis of inactive, I have used the function user relationship. If there is one more parameter like stock item reached, I want to see the analysis for the stock item reached date. Okay, then I can create one more inactive, and the DAX part, I can create one more measure. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, user relationship function wise, date table to the stock date, stock item reached date, like that. Is that clear to you? Yes, no. Others, please try to respond. Clear to everyone? Good. So please remember how many active relationships we are going to maintain in the model means please convey only one. And if you want to bring the analysis from the inactive relationship, what is the function? Which function we are going to use it? You can tell me in the chat box. If you want to bring the analysis from the inactive relationship, there is a DAX function name called dash. That's it. Okay. User relationship function. Please remember, this is the one here. Got it? And previously I have used order date only, which is incorrect. Okay. Expected delivery date I have used. Why? Because already active is there. Active relationship between date to the order date is there. Why again order date? Order date is not required. Expected delivery date we have to generate. We have to add it here. Okay. Fine then. Let's try to create some very important KPI cards, giving something like a phase two report. See this? I'm still using the old format. No problem. This is a card visual, right? Suppose I want to see the total number of orders, that is 74,000, approximate number. Let's see the full value too. Full value. Okay, full value. Assume that this is my full value, 73,595 is the total orders. Here, the requirement is, please remember, requirement is from the customer. He want to compare, okay, as per my data set, current available data. I have an information up to 2016 only, correct? Let me visualize one more quickly. We have an information up to 2016. See this. Please observe. Date and total orders. How many years of information we have? 13 to 16, correct? 2013, the value is the total number of orders up to 2016. Maybe the middle of the month, we have the information. Here, the requirement is my end user is a partial data. 2016, we have the partial information. See this. Partial means up to 2 quarters only we have, up to May month, we have the information. But my customer point of view, he is expecting to compare last year. That means 2015 as well as 2014. Why you're not considering the 2016 means 2016, it's a current running year. I don't want to count the total number of orders for current running year. I want to compare it with the last year and last before year. That means 14 and 15. Okay. Total number of orders for 2015 and total number of orders for 2014. You are seeing whenever I'm trying to onboard, you're seeing the numbers too, correct? 2015, 23,000 plus orders. 2014, 21,000 plus orders. So I want to compare it by using a card visualization. This is the card visual. So how many metrics this card visual will get accepted? How many metrics? Is that one, two metrics, more than one? You can tell me. These are the options you have. This card visualization, how many metrics it will accept? One metric, two, three, or more than three. One metric at a time. Only one. Maybe if you can try to replace, maybe if you can try to add one more metric, it's just a replace only. See here. I'm just trying to add one more. It's just a replace. So in such a scenario, okay, in such scenario, if you want to provide in the form of a KPI card, key performance indicator card, instead of using this card visualization, we can make use of KPI card. Okay, KPI card visual. Just try to convert it. Convert it. As of now, it's not showing any number. Please focus. It's important. I'm not going to use the total number of orders now. As per the requirement, I want to get it compare 2015 total orders and 2014 total number of orders. Now you can tell me. So see here, I want to see that only the insights for 2015 number, that is 23,329. How can you see this number? Can someone please help me? Which function we are going to use it? I want to filter the data as well as I want to use an expression with total orders. So which function will be helpful? What is the DAX function? Chart box, please. You can use a chart and respond it here. I want to see the metric only for 2015. Which DAX function we are going to use? You want me to give the choices? Calculate, SumX, sum function, maybe filter function. Why others not responding? Please try to respond. We already discussed multiple times. Calculate is a function where you are going to pass two parameters, one for expression Another for the data filtration. Okay. Function I'm trying to do. Giving the name as order 2015. Total number of orders for 2015 is equal to calculate. So I already created an explicit measure, total number of orders, comma. Please observe, and I don't want to filter with any of the date table. I'm using the all function to ignore the, if there is any filtration on the date table, to ignore it. I'm using the all function. All is the one of the function. It will ignore if there is any filtration on the date. So date table, date column. Close the bracket, comma, and date table, yeah, is equal to 2015. Close the bracket, validate it. Validate it. Just try to drag and drop and see the number. Is this coming fine? Is this value is correct? Let me give the full number to 2015 orders. Is this fine? Same only, right? Same numbers. $23,329. Okay. Like that. 1 second. I will explain. So see here. Either why you are using here all, I'm not aware of this function. So I'll just try to get rid of this. Okay. Maybe I'll just try to remove this function. Even this one also will give you this 23,329. Okay. Calculate total number of orders, date table, year. Year is equal to, we already have a year column, is equal to 2015. Before I have used an all function. Why? In the sense, if there is any filter on the date related, to ignore the date filtration, date related filtration, I'm using this all function. So see here, returns all the records in the table, even if you can apply any filter on the date field, which you are going to choose. So that is the meaning. Okay. Date table, date column. If I'm trying to filter with something date, it will ignore it. So first filter I have used with all function to avoid any filtration on the date. And second filter I have used date table year column. This is my second filter, filter 1, filter 2. Maybe if you want to add one more filter condition, I can add it. Okay, as per the requirement. So validate it. Now is that clear now? Is that clear to you? Responses, please. If it is clear, clear, or not clear means not clear. That's it. So I'm just trying to drag and drop or select it, select it, select. Not clear? Okay, 1 second. Good. See here, this part is clear to you. This is clear. Good. Total number of orders, date table, and here we are using only one filter condition, that is 2015. Maybe in the visualization level, something like a slicer part, if you want to filter based on the date, to ignore the filter criteria, like see here, let me see, select some slicer chart, slicer. Maybe I'll just try to filter with something like this slicer. Is that value is getting changed? Is this value is changing? This value. If I'm trying to filter something, is this values are getting changed, right? Changing. To ignore this slicer change, okay, whenever I'm trying to change it, my value is getting changed. The card visual is getting changed. To ignore the filters based on the selected field, I'm going to use a function name called all function. If I'm using an all function in that calculation, order 2015, it will get rid of it. It will not change anything. Okay, that's the meaning. Okay, complete date level, it will not get changed. That is the meaning. Okay. All function, what it will do in the sense, if you are applying any filter on the selected field or else a table, it will ignore it. Okay, that's the meaning. So let me add again here. The first filter, all is the function. See here, table or else a column. So here I'm trying to return all the records in the table, or maybe if I'm choosing a particular column, that is the date, all the values from the column, that is the date column, ignoring any filters. It will ignore it. It will avoid any filtration on that particular field. That is the meaning. Okay. Date table. I'm choosing the field here, date column. Close it, close the bracket, comma, validate it. It will ignore it. The filtration of the date table, date column, except this year. Okay, the second filtration I'm using, year is equal to 2050. This is also date table only, right? From the date table only, this year is also projecting, except this year. That is the meaning now. Now it is clear. Good. Yes, Sadhana. That means the value keep constant on the date related only. If you can try to change the date, that is the, I mean, as a selected, right, that particular range, it will not get changed. It will be same as a static. The same number, it will be get visualized. Okay. If you apply any filter on the date related. Okay. So as of now, I have added total number of orders. That is for 2015 year. Let's try to calculate for 2014. Okay. The same calculation. I'm just trying to copy paste. Control C. New measure. New measure. This is for 2014 and change the year for 2014. Validate it. Validate. Try to drag and drop because we are trying to see the current year value as well as the target year. That means I just want to compare it. So here we are using the parameter, the filtration based on the date, right? Just try to add the trend axis based on date table. So you can see both the values, the current year value, that is 2015 as per the assumption, 2015 value, and previous year value, that is 2014, 21,199. So don't forget why this trend axis date you have added, why other fields. Because in the filtration of both 2014 and 2015, we have used a parameter, filter parameter, that is date wise. So that's why I have added a date table date field. Okay. So this date table date field is required. Otherwise, we cannot see the visualization access part. Okay, we cannot add any other field like a city name or a city ID as a trend axis. Okay, because the filtration, if you're observing, I'm using the date related stuff. Okay, calculate. My expression is total number of orders and the filtration I'm using here, date. So that's why we are seeing the numbers, 2015 and 2014 numbers. Understood? This is the first card. So at a time, in a glance, if you want to visualize the current year, that is 2015, and the previous year value, 2014, we can make use of KPI card visualization. Okay, KPI card, this one. There is an up and negative, right? Red color. If there is a positive means positive, otherwise dynamically, if there is any negative between the target value and the current year value, it will showcase as a red color dynamically. Understood? Let me add the comma separator as well. Comma separator for both of these cards. Isn't 50. Reduce the font because it's very huge font. 28. And I'm using the Arial format. Auto is fine. And instead of calling it as a goal, okay, I can change this label, okay. Instead of a goal, I will call it as a previous year. Target label, PY, okay, previous year. And the title also I will give it as a proper name. Instead of order 2015, 2014, I'll give a proper title like orders for this year and previous year, something like this. Title, orders for this year versus previous year. Okay. Even this one previous is fine, I think so. It's okay. Make it as a center font. Just tell me. More than two, there is no KPI card. Okay, you have to use another chart. Okay, for that. We have to use another chart. If there is more than two, I mean, as of now, for two KPI cards, I'm going to use it. If it is more than two, we can use a multi-card. We can use it, multi-card. It's also a card inside. Multi-card visual is there here. If it is more than two. But we cannot see this percentage, how much percentage it is. Okay, we cannot observe the stats below. I mean, something like this. We can see it as a card only, multi-card. Okay, by using this KPI card, we can see the how much percentage compared with the previous year to this current year. We can see the percentage value too. Okay, that is not supporting on the multi-card or even one single default card too. Got it? Yes, tell me, Bashwati. Yes, tell me.
I wanted to ask you, when we use the KPI, so the percentage shows the difference between both the years.
Percentage 10.05% only, right? Plus
Yeah,
10 point.
yeah.
Yes,
That is the difference between both the years.
correct. Current 2015 to the 2014 difference.
So
The
this
percentage
this
of
is,
improvements.
yeah, this is what we did not calculate it. This
We have
comes
it,
on
we
the
automatically, dynamically it will
okay.
project us. By using this
So,
KPI card, the advantage is we can get the percentage of the improvements of the current year and the previous year, and we can see the below itself the previous year value with percentage. Okay, dynamically. And the color also, as you're observing, this is by default KPI card. Green color is for positive. Maybe if the my current year orders is less compared with the previous year, dynamically it will give you the red color. Okay, if it is less than that.
okay, means negative it comes red and
Red
positive it comes green.
comes, yes, exactly.
Okay, thank you. I
Okay,
got it.
okay. So in interview, the question on chart visual to like when we can use what chart. I have shared the document, but if you're observing, this chart is that readable or else not readable? Is that understand or not understand? You can tell me. Like that, I will try to design some other. Is this understandable, this chart? Good, right? Let me showcase you one more insight. So assume that you are the newbie to this Power BI. Maybe we already almost completed. Suppose I have many categories are there, and I want to visualize with one number, that is the total number of orders. Okay, many categories. So let me take a state table, state province name. Okay, state province name, and I want to visualize the total number of orders. Is this visual looks good to you? Can I suggest this visual to use it? Can you use this visual? It is our take. As a developer, as a Power BI developer, either you are going to choose this visual or not, it's our take. Even first, our common sense, we will not use it. So the customer point of view, the lowest data, the lowest state information, he cannot observe where it is. It just looks like a color. Okay. Instead of that, this type of a chart, I can use some other, like maybe I'll just try to use a stat bar chart. It gives some value added. Okay. Once I can enable the data labels here, I can see some numbers very quick. So this is the text source and so on, right? So there is some of the charts which are not suggestible. I think we discussed this part. If not, I'm going to discuss it, no issues. So there are some charts like we cannot choose this chart also, like donut chart. This chart also not choosable. Whenever if you are visualizing with more number of categories with one single metric. And this chart as well. These three charts are avoidable. Like if you have a more information. Clear to you? Is that clear? So in which scenario can I use these three charts then? I mean pie chart, donut chart, and this trim. If you have a less number of categories, like example, I have something like customer category here, customer category name. I can make use of it. This chart is, it looks fine. If I have a less number of categories, I can visualize it in this way. Okay, I can fit it in the rectangle in the right hand side corner. I can visualize it. This chart is acceptable. Is it understandable? You can tell me. These are the categories that we have. Agree? Less number of categories. Like that, maybe I can try to change it to the donut chart too. Less number of categories. Are you following? So these charts are not, I mean, donut chart, pie chart, and tree map is not choosable whenever if you have a more number of categories and you are visualizing with one metric, one metric. Like as I said, total number of orders is one of the metric, and I want to visualize it with less number of categories. Yes, we can go forward and we can use it. These three charts. Okay. Fine. And card visualization. Suppose if I want to visualize one metric only, that is total number of orders, because it is not going to accept one more metric, right? Only one at a time. In that scenario, I can make use of card visualization. It looks good, this number. I'll try to adjust it and I can fit it here as a kind of a card. Correct? It's a number. Still, like this one card, one KPI, it will get supported by gate chart too. Even gate chart also will get support. Only one metric at a time. One at a time. One value at a time. Okay, it will not accept more than one. See here. If I can try to drag and drop, it's just a replace. If I'm trying to drag and drop one more metric, it's a replacing that existing one. Okay. Gate chart and card visualization, it will accept only one metric at a time. Got it? Is that clear to you? So let's try to derive few more KPI cards. So I'm just trying to use the copy paste technique. Copy paste. So the first KPI card is for total number of orders. Let's try to derive for the total number of sales, total sales. Okay. And this card, I'm going to use it for the total quantity. And the last card for the total customers for the current year and the previous year. Okay. So let's try to derive it. Quantity. Let's try to derive it. I'm just trying to use the copy paste for this. New measure, just to replace it. Okay. Quantity for 2015. Quantity. So I haven't calculated the explicit measure. Can someone please help me? What is the total? How can I calculate total quantity? I haven't calculated the total quantity as an explicit measure. Can someone please help me? I want to calculate the total quantity. How can we use it? Here. Only total orders is available as an explicit measure. How can I calculate total quantity? So which function? Sum of quantity column we can directly call. Okay. From the sales order line, and try to change the filtration for 2015. Validate. So if we haven't calculated the explicit measure, you can directly call it. But my suggestion is you can create an explicit measure that is the total quantity, and we can reuse it. Okay, we can reuse that explicit measure multiple times. Okay, instead of using the sum function again and again and each and every measure, we can create one explicit measure for the total quantity and we can reuse it, that explicit measure, that total quantity. Okay, let me create very quick. Okay. I hope everyone following. If you have get confused or else maybe if you have some clarities required on some part, please raise your hand so that I will get to know. Okay, I'm using the measure, explicit measure. So this is the best approach. Okay, best approach is you can reuse it. This total quantity, I can reuse it in some new calculations too. Instead of calling as the sum of that particular table and column, quantity column. Okay. Let me copy this. Following, right? Any questions? Sum X not required, right? Sum X, if you are calling on the complete table, it is required. But here only one individual column, not required of calling the sum X. 2014, validated. So here, try to call this quantity, current year and previous year. This is the value, okay? Not orders. We can change the title as, it's not an orders, this is the change it for quantity, quantity for this year and previous year. Like that, let's try to create one more measure for the total sales. Total sales. Total sales is equal to calculate. So now you can tell me what is the function we discussed related to total sales. Sum X sales order line. That is the table. So it's a combination of quantity into unit price, right? So I don't have an explicit measure for total sales. So I'm just trying to use it. Sum X sales order line quantity. Now this quantity for 2014 quantity into unit price. Close the bracket. All date table, date column to ignore if there is any filtration on this date related, and date table year is equal to 2015. Validate it. One more. Once this card's completed, right, I will stop. Okay, I'm just taking some additional time. Sorry for that. Select it and try to replace this. Okay, so 2015 total sales, 2014 total sales, and change the title. This is not for orders. So these are all the trick. Like I've just created one card first, done some cosmetic changes like a font change and all. After that, I'm using the copy paste technique, copied all the KPI cards. Okay, so just to copy paste it. And after that, I'm trying to replace with the values, okay, which I've just added. Total sales. Sales. Okay, so that it's simpler process. Even I can add something like this effects, special effects, like this. We can add it like this, okay? Rounded corners, which looks good to visualize. And shadow not with the black color, light color. Okay, like this. Use the format painter. Last cut, total quantity, total orders, total sales has been derived. Last card, it is related to total customers. Okay, total customers. So I got a query something like I'm getting the same customer ID, same customer, total number of customers in my line chart. So the reasons should be something like you have created the total customers by taking a reference of sales customer table. We have a sales customer table, right? Maybe you have created a reference that's a sales customer feed from here. So what you have to do in the sense, we can change either here from the sales customer to the sales order table by direction. This one, the relation should be by direction, so that you will get the, I mean, over the period of time, how many number of customers we have. If you still have any queries, please let me know. You have to change the direction from bi-directional, from the cross filter direction from single to both. That one I have already showcased to you. So still any clarity is required, please let me know. Okay. Maybe you're getting the visualization in this way. Let me do that. No issues. 1 second. 1 second. I'll just try to create one explicit measure for this too. quickly. Total sales. Validated. I'm just creating an explicit measure. Okay. So I will call it here. So I don't want to impact my performance of my report. That's the reason I created total seats. And one more thing, whenever you're creating an explicit measure, is that required to call the table. So as of now, this explicit measure is get stored on the city. Do you want me to call the city table to get this explicit measure, to make use of this explicit measure? You can tell me like this. See here, city something like sales, total sales. You want me to call the table information here? Is that required? Responses, please. Not required. Okay, you no need to call the table. Measures, it's not going to store permanently on the cities table. It is moved from one table to the another table. As of now, it is stored on the cities table. I can move it to one table to the another table so that at that time you will face an error. See here, as of now, it is in the cities table. I can change it to some other tables too. Like maybe I want to store this total sales in sales order. I can move it. At that scenario, if you are using the table information before, it throws an error. Okay, you have to keep in mind total sales, total sales. Fine. Fine. You are asking something? Yes, exactly. I will show you that one only. I'm just coming. Okay, 1 minute. You raise that query. See here, date, date, and total orders is on my bars and total customers. Let me create very quick total customers to explicit measure. Total customers. Count of customer ID from this table, from sales customer table. Suppose if you are choosing the customer ID column from the sales customer table, see here, you can see an insight in this way, the visualization in this way. Just try to drag and drop like in this way. You can see the insight in this way. Each and every year, you can see the same number. Okay. Why? Because the data, if you're observing the data, it is getting flow from one direction. So I can try to filter the data of sales order, okay, but not from the sales order to the sales customer. So you have to change the direction. We have to change the direction from single to the both. That's it. Navigate back. You can see the stat. Got it now? Is this clear to everyone, or else still any confusions, clarity is required? So the data is not passing from sales customer, sales order, I can filter it. But from the sales order to the sales customer, cannot filter. So that's why you are observing the insight with the same line. After changing the bi-directional cross filter direction from single to the both, we can see the insight in this way. Now, is that clear? Responses, please, very quick. No, it won't affect. That's what I said, right? We are just changing the bi-directional. This is my active relationship. You are changing the cross filter direction to get it filtered from sales order table to the sales customer table. So you are observing the values, right? Total orders not reflected. There is no change on the total orders. It's coming fine. But here, if you're observing the model, I cannot filter any data from the sales order to the sales customer because the data is flowing from sales customer to the order. We cannot filter it to the sales customer. So what I did, I changed this cross filter from single to both bi-directional. That's it. Okay, fine. So let's try to create for total customers too for 2015 and 2014. Okay. Total customers. This is the total customers expression. And 50. Validate it. Validate. And one more. 40. Okay. So the current year 2050, 657 customers, and previous year 640, and the improvement of rating is 2.66 percentage. That is the total customers. Change the title. Customers. Okay. That's it. And if you have any questions, please let me know. So is that okay if you have many measures? Yes, it's a requirement, right? It's a part of requirement. You are creating many measures. So what I will do in the sense, instead of all the measures are sticking on this table, what I will do in the sense, I will create a separate table for measures. So which I can easily identify. These are all the calculations that I have created, DAX calculations. Instead of storing these are all measures in a table, which is already available, I can create a some table, okay, reference of my measure table. So how I will show you right now. Okay, that part I'm coming, but just ask me. So as of now, if you're observing, these are all the measures are getting stored here, the cities table. I don't want to get stored on the cities table. I want to give a dedicated table for measures. Okay, explicit measure. Don't want to store it in the cities. So how can we do that? Maybe in future, if I don't want this table means I can turn off this data set to load into my Power BI desktop. Correct? I can turn off this cities table. Correct? So instead of storing here cities table, I can create a measure table, which is very, very important for our reference only. It is not for requirement prospect, for our reference. So I'm just trying to make use of enter data. Click on the enter data, give some name, something like measure table, load it, load it. So I can move all these measures to my measure table. So see here, please observe, it's a blank table only. It's a measure table, it's a blank. We don't have any info. See this, it's a blank. So I can move all these measures to my measure table. Select it, move it to the measure table like this. Okay. You have these many measures. I mean, maybe 50 measures are there. Are we going to move in this way? Maybe by mistakenly you have created the measures and it is stored in some table. Is that good to move one by one? You can tell me. If it is a good work, you can tell me. Like this. I'm selecting and moving this measure to my measure table. It's moved. You're observing, right? You can tell me. Is that good approach to move these measures one by one? I mean, smart work, right? How can we move all these measures in one go? So to get this done, in Power BI desktop, report level, it will not support. I cannot select all these measures, okay, by using control or else a shift button. To get this done, I have to navigate to the model view. Click on the model view. You can select multiple measures at a time here by using control button. You can select multiple measures here at a time. So these are all, we can just try to drag and drop here. That's it. All the measures are movable, so it moved. So if there is still any measures I missed, it's working. If still any measures, I will just try to cross verify. I don't think any others here. This is the one measure. If it is a one particular measure means I can move it. Manually, I can move it. This measure to my measure table. Okay. One particular measure means I can move. If I find out multiple measures, I can use model view to move all the measures to my measure table. Okay. Like this. And to differentiate, if you are observing, this is also looks like a table view. See here. This also looks like a measure, is also looks like a table icon, correct? To differentiate, I'll just try to remove this is a blank table only, right? I can just try to remove this column one. You can see the differentiation. Just try to delete this column one. You don't have any info. You can see the difference. So This is not a table now. Okay, it's a created virtual measure table. You can see some icon with a calculator, and these are all measures which I can easily refer from this table. Okay, so these are all the measures at a time. I can see and observe here what are the calculations that has been written. So maybe in future this table has been get hidden, or else maybe we can disable the data load. There is no impact to my report. Okay, these measures are get stored in some different virtual table now. So in this way, we can do the activity, but this is not an requirement. This is for our reference only. Okay, fine then. I'm stopping here. The next part, right? We can connect tomorrow and we will discuss it. Okay, next part. We're going to connect. As I said, next week is the last. Okay, next week we will complete it. All the topics, whatever the pending I have. And we will take, if you have any questions or else any concerns, I will take accordingly. Got it. And also I have started sharing the profiles to you just to go through it. Let me know if you want me to review, I can review. Whereas maybe if you are very good on the review part, we can do it on your own. Okay. And also I have started sharing this interview questions too, just to go through the topics. Okay. Interview questions. I mean, the pending topics are like bookmarking is pending. I mean, I have some topics in my mind. You don't need to worry. I'm going to cover all the things. Okay. As a part of PL 300. Okay. Fine then. If you have any questions, I'm waiting for your questions. If you have any questions, I'm waiting. And next week, or else maybe tomorrow, I will share you something like a feedback link for this complete course. Just I'm expecting from everyone to get participated in this. Okay, it will take less than 2 minutes. Okay, it's a feedback for myself. I will share you the link. You can just try to add it. We're almost going to complete the course. Please try to add your comments and feedback accordingly. Okay. Thanks. I hope no queries. Thanks for joining. Sadhana, you are asking for the material. I don't have it, but I can share you the link for that PL300. You can just go through it, okay? Fine. Thanks for joining. Have a nice day. We'll connect tomorrow. Sure. Thank you.